Hey guys, this is Alex here from 814DC. Thank you so much for stopping back in and checking out this video and checking out the channel. Today's knife up for review is the Giant Mouse Ace Iona. A little bit about this knife. I got this knife for Christmas this past year, so I've had it for, about 2 months now. I have some mixed reviews with this knife. It's been on my list, I guess you could say, ever since I saw it released back in, I don't know if that was 2019. I think it was 2019. And they've been, kind of always been on my list since then. I've always wanted to give them a try and check them out. So I figured, it was a Christmas gift for my parents. I figured it was a good kind of not too expensive knife, but expensive enough knife. So this was a gift from them. I basically bought it though, so I didn't buy it, but I told them what to buy. So it's I knew I was getting it, one of those type of gifts. But yeah, like I said, I have some, I have a few good things I like about it. I have a few bad things I don't like about it. But I don't know. I guess we'll just dive right into it. So for materials, they're using FRN scales. It has this real nice milling pattern to it. Now, as far as FRN goes, I know a lot of people, like I said, in a lot of previous videos of mine, a lot of people really hate FRN. I'm one of those type of people that I don't exactly love it, but it really doesn't bother me anymore. And as far as FRN goes, I feel like this FRN is probably some of the nicest FRN I've ever handled. It still has that plasticky kind of noise to it, but it just feels really well built, and it feels like a more premium FRN. If you picked it up, you couldn't, to me at first, I couldn't tell it was FRN or plasticky. So that's a good thing about this knife. Another good thing about this knife is the blade steel that we're using, which is M390, which is an amazing blade steel. You have dual thumb studs on both sides here. You have a loop over style deep carry pocket clip, which is another strong point for this knife. Wire pocket clips are really, really good. For blade, we're having a full flat grind. It's pretty thin behind the edge. Not amazing, but overall this thing's a pretty good slicer. It is a stone wash finish, excuse me. And then we are having only one liner in this guy. There's the only liner on the liner lock side. The other liner does not exist in this knife, and that's for weight reduction, I'm assuming. So for when, it still locks up pretty good. There's slight blade play, but I guess that'll lead right into action, which one way is good on this knife and one way is bad. The opening action, if you thumb flick it, flies out of there. You middle finger flick, flies out, and it locks up pretty well. There's maybe a hair of blade play, but when you close it, that's where I have one of the issues, where it's just not I don't know if it's just me, if it's user error, but I've taken this knife apart a couple different times and cleaned it real well and added some lube to it and stuff like that, and I've played around with the pivot where when it came from the factory, there was no blade plate, but it was a little stiff, and I was at least able to get it a little bit loose, but it's still just, I don't know, it's just, that's one of my gripes with this knife. I've seen other people have their videos up of these, and they've seen a little bit smoother and a little bit easier shutting than mine, so I don't know if it's just my knife personally, but yeah, like I said, that's one of the issues I have. It's a great opener. It's a very satisfying, noise when you open it, but then when you go to close it, it's just not. And that's, I guess, goes hand in hand with the liner. You have some jimping in there, which doesn't look like it's too bad, but with how the liner is, it's basically flush with the two scales. So when I go to close this knife, I find myself having to shove my thumb up in there and push it over. And when I first got it, my thumb was all tore up just because from having to shove it up in, and the jimping would kind of eat away at it. So it's definitely not the most comfortable thing. And that's another reason why I'm not a huge fan, because I just, for one, I like my knives to be fun and have a fidget factor, which this has like half a fidget factor because it's fun to open, but then when you go to close, it's almost like a chore because like, oh, you gotta dig my thumb, way up into this lock, and then move it over, and then and after a while your thumb starts to hurt. My thumb, starts to hurt even now, even I sit and flick knives all day. So that's one. Those two reasons are big reasons why I'm not the knife isn't like even better for me on my list. So I guess that was what materials, action. So ergos for this knife, I happen to really like. I like the design of it. I like how it has this nice like swoop to it, kind of has a nice slight curve. And when I'm in my full grip, I can fit all 4 fingers on there. It's quite comfortable. I like how the curvature kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like caresses the inside knuckles, and I just get a good purchase on it. And hammer grip, excuse me. Saber grip, which is what I use most of the time. Reverse grip is pretty comfortable. Hammer grip, I always get those confused. But most of the time I'm in saber grip, which is right here, and it's quite comfortable. Or if I'm like this, like kind of like opening boxes and stuff, it's still pretty comfortable. So, in I guess the way the texturing is on the scales, I don't know if that adds into it being comfortable, but to me it seems like it does, at least, because it kind of like lets your hand kind of like mold into the scales, and you just I get a good purchase. I think it's well done. That's that's kind of what the first thing that drew me in was the design of it. Once I understood, kind of what M390 was and stuff like that, and other different materials that go into the knife, I thought it was a good deal, which I guess I'll talk about that later. But so my last point I would like to talk about is carry. This thing carries awesome. I have no complaints in the carry department. I mean, like I said, you have a deep carry wire clip that's loop over style, so I mean it goes to the butt end of the knife, and this thing is super slim. I mean, it fits in the palm of my hand. I mean, it's very small. So I mean, this thing just disappears in the pocket. It carries very, very well. I have no complaints in this department, like I said. Carries like a dream. So after all those, I want to go over price point. Price point on these guys for this one, I forgot to mention. I guess I should have mentioned this in the materials. But they have models with G10 scales, which are milled the same exact way, same colors. And then you have, I think there's 3 or 4 colors of aluminum, like nice like brushed aluminum scales. Now those go up every different type of scale you get, more money you're going to be paying for it. Now these, the FRN, they're at 99 odd, so like $100. The G10 is 125, and the aluminum I think is like 140-ish, something like that. But this one was $99, $100. And for that price point, I do think you're getting a lot of good value with this knife. I mean, the starting point is, like I said, the M390 blade. You're getting a deep carry wire clip. You're getting a really nice, comfortable handle design and shape. You're getting a comfortable handle material, I think personally. Could vary per person, but I think that this, like I said, for being FRN, it's very nice FRN, excuse me. So for $99, $100, I think it's a good deal. I think there are people out there that don't necessarily care as much about, having like a fun fidget factor where you can sit there and like enjoy flipping it all day, and I mean, they only buy their knives for work, and I think this would be a great like smaller work knife, because you have such a good blade steel. It's such a comfortable. I mean, and this blade shape's pretty well rounded, where you're going to go out. I mean, it's going to do a lot of good tasks for you. But no, I think the price point is justified. I think it's worth the $100. If you can get it on sale, even better. But I think you're getting a good value with this knife. So that leads me to my point of, would I recommend it? Absolutely, I recommend it. Just because I had the gripes with the closing and the liner, that's just me and my own opinions on the knife. I would recommend this knife to anyone looking to get into Giant Mouse, because this is, I think, the cheapest Giant Mouse Ace knife. All other ones kind of run like think like $150 to $200, where this one you can get in for $100. So I think it'd be a really good kind of starting point or a way to get your feet wet with the company and kind of see, because I mean, you have Anso and Voxnay's design, so I mean, you have two legendary designers designing this knife, and they did a really good job. They're giving you good materials at that price point, so I think that it's a good knife to start out with. And I think everybody should experience this knife at least once, you know, because like I said, I don't know if this is my knife doing this to me or if happens to different people, but I mean, I think you should at least see it and understand what it's about and give it a try, because it does have a lot of character and it's a good little knife. I've enjoyed carrying it when I don't fidget with it, when I have like, say I have to go to work for the day or something like that, or I'm out shopping around, or I go to somewhere for the day and I throw this in my pocket and I'm not going to be like sitting there fidgeting with it all day. I enjoyed carrying it. It's such a lightweight, slim knife where, like I said, I don't know it's in my pocket, but when I need to cut something, I pull it out, I just flick it open, and then I open a package or cut whatever I need to cut. You know, I don't think about it as much whenever I go to use it because I'm not shoving my thumb in there all the time, so the liner lock doesn't really affect me as much in the moment, and I close it and put it in my pocket and go about my day. To me, I guess the biggest thing is when I'm sitting there playing with it, my thumb gets kind of beat up and stuff like that, and I get tired of like having to like, you know, because I like, who doesn't like a drop shut knife where it's just gonna fall down close and you don't have to like, I mean, I guess I could open it and go like, actually I can't even do that. I mean, you can do it like that, but that's not really that fun. So overall and final thoughts are, you know, it's a Giant Mouse. Giant Mouses are all well built. They're good knives. They're made by two really good people in the knife industry, legendary people, some would say. And this is up there with those categories. It's a good knife. I'm thinking of selling it. I'm thinking of selling actually the three knives that I did reviews on this week, the Para 3 Lightweight, the SOG Terminus XR, and this one. I'm considering selling because with other knives I have, I don't reach for them and carry them as much. So I'm thinking of maybe selling them so I could turn that money into another, you know, knife. Because, you know, anyone who is into knives and is a knife enthusiast, you know that your want list is ever growing and it just seems to get bigger by the week. So my thought is I could turn these guys into something that I don't really carry much, into something that I would really reach for and like to carry. So yeah, I would. Don't let that take that away from, or don't let my thoughts, you know, take your impression away from you. Because if you're looking to get this knife, get it, give it a try. It's worth a try. I think you should experience it and see if you like it. If you're on the edge and fence about it, I would 100% try it out because you might be surprised. So that'll be all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my very opinion-based review on the Giant Mouse Ace Iona. If you guys have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. I have a couple of knives coming in hopefully next week if the mailing services work out. They've been a little slow lately, but I think I definitely have two coming in. Hopefully the other one's shipped by now, so should be a good week. Should get some unboxings done. Another thing on my to-do list for next week is to finish up with Kevin's knives. He sent me the ProTech Malibu, the Microtech UTX85, and the Bounty Hunter edition, and the Spectra Bombshell. So I've been rotating them in and out this past. What time did he give me that knife? 10th. So I've had it for 9 days now. So I've been rotating them in and out pretty much daily. I've enjoyed all three of them. So I'm pretty excited to give you guys my full thoughts and reviews on those. I'll be looking forward to those probably later next week once I get my full 2 weeks of carrying it and stuff like that. So again, Kevin, thank you very much. That'll be it for today, guys. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.